found the house at the end of the road, where the wild grass grew and the cold wind blew. The windows were broken, the paint had gone, and the old wooden gate barely held on. Everyone told us to leave it alone, too much to fix, too far from town. But you looked at me with that familiar smile and said, maybe we could stay for a while. We walked through rooms covered in dust, floorboards creaking under our feet. There was nothing there that looked like home, just empty walls and forgotten things. But sunlight came through a crack in the roof and fell on your face as you looked around. You said, I think this place still has a heart. And somehow I believed you from the start. At the house at the end of the road, we carried more than we could hold. We fixed the windows, painted the walls, and listened to the stories inside them all. Piece by piece and day by day, we gave the old house life again. But while we thought we were building a home, the house was building us. The first thing we found was behind the stairs, an old photograph. Hidden there, a man and a woman stood by the door with 3 little children and a dog on the floor. The house looked younger in those days. Flowers grew where the weeds now stayed. On the back and right and faded with time were 4 simple words: our first home, 1965. We placed the picture beside the window, wondering who they used to be. Did they drink their coffee where we did now? Did they watch the same old trees? You said every house remembers something, even when the people disappear. I laughed and told you houses couldn't talk, but that night their story felt very near. A week went by, then we found a letter under a loose board in the upstairs room. The paper was yellow, the ink was fading, but every word still carried through. A woman had written to someone named James, who had left for work in another town. She wrote, the children ask when you're coming home. I tell them it won't be long now. She wrote about rain against the windows, about waiting by the telephone, about saving money for a bigger kitchen, and how strange the house felt alone. At the bottom, one final sentence: wherever you are, this is still your home. You read those words twice without speaking, and quietly reached out for my hand. At the house at the end of the road, we carried stories we didn't know. We fixed the ceiling, repaired the floors, and wondered who would walk through these doors. Piece by piece and day by day, the past was slowly finding its way. And while we thought we were building a home, the house was building us. Behind the wallpaper in the smallest room, we found a drawing made in blue. A crooked house beneath the yellow sun, 5 smiling people drawn by someone young. There was a tree and a little red car, and a name in the corner, Emily, age 6. We couldn't bring ourselves to cover it again, so we framed that piece of wall instead. Winter slowly turned to spring. The garden came alive. We planted flowers by the door and watched the roses climb. The kitchen filled with conversation, the rooms with music every night. The house that once stood forgotten was filling up with life. Sometimes I wondered where they all went, the family in that photograph. If Emily still remembered this place, if James ever made it back. Maybe somewhere they still told stories about the house they used to know, never knowing 2 strangers found them at the end of an old country road. Then one morning, while painting the hallway, you stopped and looked at me. You said one day someone might find our story hidden somewhere we cannot see. I looked around at everything we'd built, at the photographs now mixed with theirs. 2 families separated by years, sharing the same walls, the same stairs. So we left their photograph beside our own on the shelf by the living room door. Their faded faces next to ours, two different lives, one home. And years from now, when the paint grows old and someone new walks down this road, maybe they'll find a trace of us and wonder about the life we chose. Maybe they'll find a note or a picture hidden away. Maybe they'll see that drawing one day and understand what we learned. A home is more than walls and windows. It's every life that passes through. At the house at the end of the road, we found a story beneath our own. We saved the pictures, we kept the words, we gave a place to the voices we heard. Piece by piece and year by year, we built a life that brought us here. We thought that we were saving a home, but the house was saving us. At the house at the end of the road, where the wild grass used to grow, there are lights in every window now, and flowers by the door. And on the wall, two families remain side by side, though years apart, because every house can hold a story, and every home can hold a heart.